Have you ever felt like the traditional way businesses generate leads is just a bit like an old clunky machine? You know, the kind that makes a lot of noise but doesn't really get you where you want to go. For decades, it's been pretty much the same approach, and honestly, the results can be kind of underwhelming.
And what if I told you there's a completely different game in town now?
Hmm.
A strategy so effective that giants like, say, Fiverr and Upwork are using it right at this moment to acquire millions of what you call pre-sold customers.
Yeah.
This isn't just some small adjustment. It's a full-blown revolution, really.
Hmm.
And it's all powered by AI.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really fascinating look into what's being called the value-first AI lead generation strategy. We've been digging into a pretty comprehensive guide on this whole new approach, and our mission, well, it's what we always do: extract those core insights, the surprising facts, and the actionable steps that are making this strategy so incredibly powerful.
Yeah, and we've got a really interesting journey laid out for you today. We're going to pull back the curtain on how the old, kind of tired lead generation methods stack up against this new, intelligent, AI-driven approach. We'll actually expose the specific playbooks of platforms you probably know, like Fiverr and Upwork. We'll show you exactly how they operate behind the scenes. Then, we're diving deep into the core psychology behind it all. This really powerful idea of diagnosis before the doctor. We'll walk you through some real-world examples, unpack a detailed case study, and then break down the, honestly, surprisingly simple steps in affordable tech you can use to build your own system. And, this is really important, we'll talk about the ethical guidelines. These are absolutely critical for building real trust, not just, grabbing email addresses.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. For, maybe the last 25 years or so, traditional lead generation has looked, well, more or less the same, hasn't it? You land on a website, there's a big flashy headline, maybe a smiling stock photo, right? And then the offer, hey, give us your email and we'll send you this free PDF. Businesses would then kind of cross their fingers, hoping for maybe a 30% conversion rate, knowing full well that most of those leads would just download the freebie and then, poof, vanish into the digital ether. It's been the unchallenged way of doing things for a really long time.
And that's exactly where the new game starts. I mean, think about a real-world example like a small tax firm. They put together a remarkably simple AI lead form based on this very strategy just a few weeks back. And what happened? Well, within that short time, they generated $7,500 in new, incredibly high-quality client business. This isn't just theory, It's actually happening right now with real, tangible results.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think, because when you start looking closely at these huge multi-billion-dollar platforms, the ones we all use, like Fiverr and Upwork, you realize they're actually using this exact same strategy, but they're doing it at a truly massive scale. They're effectively generating what seems like an infinite stream of perfectly qualified leads. So the big question then, right? What makes this new strategy so fundamentally different from just offering, I don't know, another free ebook or something?
Well, the real core difference is when and how the value is delivered. It's a timing thing. The old way, you get the freebie after you give up your information. This value-first approach, it delivers genuinely personalized value, like a detailed diagnosis of your problem, even before it ever asks your contact details. That shift, it just changes the entire dynamic of the interaction.
Right. You know, that distinction, it really does change everything. Because the old model, the one we just talked about, it really is kind of broken, isn't it? What these platforms have brilliantly figured out is that these AI-led forms, they aren't just capturing leads anymore. They're actually able to diagnose, qualify, and deliver massive, actionable value to the user before they ever type in an email address. It's a paradigm shift.
It absolutely is. It
Yeah.
feels less like, a traditional marketing funnel pushing you along,
Right.
and much more like receiving a free expert consultation
Mm-hmm.
right there.
Yeah.
Imagine having an AI that's working for you 24/7. It's never tired, never takes a coffee break, right? And it perfectly qualifies every single person it interacts with, guiding them through their problem, understanding what they need.
It's like having the world's most diligent and insightful sales consultant, always on duty, always perfect. So when you shift that value delivery right to the very beginning, how does that fundamentally transform the potential customer's whole experience?
Well, it builds immediate trust. And crucially, it empowers them. It gives them knowledge rather than just overwhelming them with information or, worse, a hard sales pitch.
Okay, now let's really pull back the curtain. Let's peek into how these giants, Fiverr and Upwork, are actually putting this strategy into practice. This is literally their playbook exposed.
Right, let's start with Fiverr's Brief Builder. It's honestly a masterclass in simplicity and effectiveness. So a user describes their problem, just in plain language. Maybe something like, My broken WordPress theme isn't playing nice with my Canva graphics, something kind of messy. They type this conversational problem into a simple text box. And what happens next is where the magic is. The AI instantly processes that input and then generates this comprehensive professional-looking project brief. It identifies the core tasks needed, suggests specific skills the freelancer should have, like PHP, CSS, maybe even Canva API integration. Sometimes it even estimates a timeline. And the brief itself, that is the lead form. It's brilliant.
See, that's exactly why it's so effective, isn't it? Instead of some generic, one-size-fits-all form, Fiverr captures incredibly detailed project specifications. The user's exact pain point, their implied budget, you can often guess that from the complexity, right, and their level of urgency. This isn't some cold call looking for a freelancer. It's like getting a detailed, pre-written work order dropped in your lap. You're getting pre-qualified, solution-ready leads. It's amazing.
And Upwork uses a slightly different but equally powerful approach with their guided consultation. Their AI acts more like an actual guided consultant. It walks the user through a series of smart questions, all designed to precisely define their project needs. The AI then processes all these details in real time, creating a structure brief that gets automatically routed to the most relevant freelancers on the platform.
And the output for Upwork, wow. It's just this treasure trove of high-intent data. You're talking precise project requirements, crystal clear budget expectations, firm timelines, specific skills needed, and, of course, the contact info. It's not just a lead anymore. It's a sales-ready opportunity, practically gift-wrapped. Okay, but beyond just gathering the information, how do these specific approaches on Fiverr and Upwork actually make users more, well, committed to taking the next step?
It's because the users feel like they've co-created something valuable. That investment, that effort, makes them inherently more committed to seeing it through. The core psychology here, it's what we're calling diagnosis before the doctor. I mean, think about it. When you call it mechanic or maybe a plumber, there's often that anxiety, right? You're trying to explain this complex problem you don't fully understand, and you feel totally at an information disadvantage. It's not a great feeling.
But imagine the sheer magic of this instead. You type in a somewhat messy, convoluted problem. Something like, I really want to improve the design of my React application, make the UI components more consistent and the overall UX more intuitive and modern. Right. Instantly, like without any waiting around, an AI responds with a perfectly structured scope of work. It details the overview, what actually needs to be done, and even suggests the specific questions you should be asking a professional. That's powerful.
That simple act, providing this preliminary diagnosis, it does three incredibly powerful things for the user. First, it just completely removes friction. That anxiety vanishes, the user suddenly...
So by the time a professional service is actually offered, the user isn't just some random lead anymore. They're a grateful, fully pre-sold customer who already sees you or the platform as an authority. It's a remarkable transformation. But why exactly does this profound psychological shift, this feeling of empowerment and being understood, create such high-quality leads?
Because they're pre-educated, they've received genuine value already, and they enter the sales conversation already trusting the provider. They know their problem, and they know you understand it. And this AI lead strategy, it's being deployed right now across literally dozens of industries. And it's absolutely printing money for the companies using it. Take, for example, an AI resume builder tool. A user uploads their resume. The AI scores it, points out specific weaknesses, formatting, keywords, clarity, whatever. It delivers this genuine instant value, and then it offers a one-click fix premium service. Smart.
Or think about a solar and energy audit tool. A homeowner just enters a few data points about their house, their monthly bills, square footage, how much sun they get, the age of the home. The AI, in return, generates a completely custom home energy efficiency report. It gives them a letter grade, like A through F, and a personalized checklist of improvements. It's a perfect lead capture for solar installers or HVAC specialists who can then say, hey, we can fix that D grade for you.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the SEO score generator. You just plug in any website URL and bam, it instantly reveals specific, often pretty technical SEO problems. Things like slow page speed, missing meta descriptions, broken links. It's a genuinely valuable free audit. And the agency behind it, they get a perfectly qualified lead who now has documented proof of a problem they can solve.
What really stands out to me across these, I mean, they're wildly different examples, right? Different sectors entirely. But they all have this common thread. They all leverage this same fundamental idea. What's that core value proposition that these tools share that really makes them so successful?
It's simple, really. They all provide immediate, actionable insights into a user's specific problem. Not generic advice, but specific help. Mid-roll sponsor read.
So we've talked a lot about the incredible why behind the strategy, the psychology, the examples, but I know our listeners are probably thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually build one of these conversion machines myself?
Hmm.
Let's get into the practical steps. How do you do it?
All right, step one, you need to identify those high-value diagnosis gaps. Where are they? Find industries with really complex problems, maybe industries known for high-pressure sales processes, where a free automated diagnosis would be incredibly valuable. Think about real estate. Maybe a mortgage affordability calculator that helps people understand their buying power before they have to talk to a loan officer, or home services like a home security risk assessment tool. Even health and wellness, though you need heavy disclaimers there, could use something like a personalized nutrition analyzer. Okay, step two, you build the brain. The AI part. And you definitely don't need to be an AI genius for this. For most of these tools, honestly, Google's Gemini API is perfect. Now, what's an API? Just think of it like a digital bridge, okay? It allows different software apps like your website to talk to a powerful AI like Gemini and share information back and forth. It's incredibly cost-effective. We're talking fractions of a penny per use. It's powerful, and it's relatively easy to integrate. An entrepreneur could seriously run multiple high-traffic tools like this for like under $20 a month in AI costs. It's wild.
Whoa, that's truly remarkable. Just imagine scaling this, not just to dozens of queries, but processing a million, maybe even a billion, without breaking the bank. That's true automation right there.
Exactly. Okay, step three is the value first framework itself. This is absolutely crucial. It has to follow a very specific four-step sequence. You can't mix it up. First, data collection. Make it engaging, maybe question-based. Don't make it boring. Second, AI analysis. Send that data you collected over to the Gemini API with a detailed prompt. You need to tell the AI what kind of expert it needs to act like. Third, value delivery. This is the hero moment. You immediately present that personalized report or score to the user right away. And only then, fourth, lead capture. Only after that value has been delivered do you present your call to action. Maybe it's for deeper analysis or direct professional contact. Value first, always. And step four is all about the personalization engine. This is key. The AI's response has to directly reference the user's input. Think about the difference. A generic energy audit might just say you could save money on your bill. Okay, thanks. But a high-converting personalized one says something like, okay, based on your $500 monthly bill for a 1,200 refrigerator home in a hot climate like yours, your energy usage is significantly above average for your area. Your biggest issues are likely poor insulation, probably due to the home's 24-year age, and an inefficient HVAC system that's struggling to cool a south-facing house with 6 occupants. Your home energy score is an F. Here's a custom checklist of the top 3 things you should fix first. See the difference? Honestly, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes. That's when the AI starts to subtly stray from your original instructions of the tone you want. Getting it to consistently hit that exact focus needed, it can be a real art. It takes practice.
It's incredible how specific and actionable that personalized response becomes. It sounds almost too good to be true, this immediate trust that gets built. Are there any risks, though, or situations where this value-first approach might, I don't know, backfire somehow? Or is this step-by-step framework, especially that part about delivering value first, is it really that critical for success?
That's a fair question. It's critical precisely because it systematically builds genuine trust and educates the user along the way. It transforms them from someone who's just kind of curious into someone who is genuinely ready and actively looking for a solution. Backfiring. That usually only happens if you don't deliver real value, if it feels like a gimmick, or if you violate that trust later on in the process.
Yeah.
So yeah, the framework is key.
Let's make this even more tangible then. Let's dive into a detailed walkthrough. We're going to actually build out that energy audit-led machine conceptually, like the one we touched on earlier.
Okay, sounds good. The setup is, like I said, surprisingly straightforward. You use the Gemini API, and you configure it to act as an expert home energy auditor. That's its job. This API gets connected to a simple web form where users enter those specific relevant data points. Their average monthly electric bill, the home square footage, its primary direction, north, south, etc., average local temperature, number of occupants, and the age of the home. Now, the real power, the magic behind it all, comes from the AI prompt you feed to Gemini. You give it a detailed system prompt. You tell it, okay, calculate a home energy score from F to A, compare this home to local averages, identify the top 3 energy wasting issues, provide practical non-technical recommendations, and then, crucially, include a clear call to action for a professional audit at the very end. You're giving it very specific instructions. So imagine a homeowner, right? Totally frustrated by a sky-high AC bill every single summer. They stumble upon your tool, they type in their details, that $500 monthly bill, 1,200 square foot home, south-facing, average temp, 85 degrees Varial, 6 people living there, a 24-year-old house. Instantly, what happens? The AI delivers this personalized, easy-to-read report right there on their screen. No waiting. It clearly shows their home energy score. D compares their efficiency to similar homes and then lists the top 3 likely issues affecting their bill, things like air leaks and poor insulation and inefficient air conditioning, all with clear, actionable recommendations.
And that's the transformative moment for the user, isn't it? Going from just utter frustration and confusion to suddenly having this incredible clarity. They see a path forward.
Exactly. And the result for you, the business running this tool, it's a pre-sold, high-intent lead. Because at the very bottom of this incredibly valuable personalized report, there's just a simple form. Maybe it says, to get a professional energy audit and a detailed quote from a certified local expert, simply enter your information below.
I
This lead isn't just a name anymore. They are acutely aware of their specific problem. They're educated on the likely causes. They have a failing grade, which creates this strong psychological need to fix it. And maybe most importantly, they trust you because you've already provided so much upfront value. This isn't just a cold prospect anymore. It's basically a pre-sold customer knocking on your door.
It's such a clever way to qualify leads, too. How does providing this kind of detailed free report so effectively filter and qualify someone for the business?
Well, it turns their mere curiosity, maybe just wondering about their bill, into a recognized, painful problem. And that recognition creates a strong, urgent desire for the exact solution you happen to offer.
Okay, so once you're generating these amazing, high-quality, pre-qualified leads, the next logical step is figuring out how to turn them into actual revenue, right? Let's explore maybe 4 proven monetization models for these kinds of systems.
Yeah, definitely. The simplest model is often just direct lead sales. You generate these incredibly qualified leads and you simply sell them to local service providers who can fulfill the need. For instance, a really good home energy efficiency lead, like the one we described, that could easily sell for anywhere from $50 to maybe even $200 per lead. Another common model is affiliate marketing. So instead of selling the lead directly, you partner with relevant companies, think solar installers or HVAC contractors. They often pay very generous commissions or referral fees for business that closes from leads you send them. Then there are what you could call build and sell services. This is where you actually build custom AI lead tools for other local businesses. Imagine a law firm paying you, say, $5,000 for a bespoke case viability assessment tool that pre-qualifies their potential clients before they even pick up the phone. And finally, there's the SaaS model, that's software as a service. Here, you build a platform that allows other businesses to create their own AI lead tools, maybe using a simple no-code interface, and you charge them a monthly subscription for access to your platform.
That makes sense. For someone who's just starting out, though, maybe just dipping their toes into this world, which of those monetization models would you say might be most accessible, the easiest to begin with?
Probably direct lead sales or affiliate marketing. They both offer very clear, relatively straightforward paths to generating revenue fairly quickly.
Right. Now, one of the biggest myths, I think, about building these systems is that it requires incredibly complex tech or, a massive budget. But that's just not the reality, is it? Let's talk about the actual tech stack needed. How simple is it?
Not at all. The technology is surprisingly simple and honestly incredibly affordable now. You essentially need 5 key components. First, the brain. That's your AI processing. Like we said, Google Gemini API is really the clear choice here for most use cases. It's powerful, reliable, and ridiculously cost-effective, probably under $20 a month for typical lead generation volumes. Second, you need a follow-up system for lead capture and nurturing. An autoresponder service, think Aweber, MailChimp, ConvertKit, those kinds of platforms is perfect for sending automated email sequences to those leads. Third, you need the real estate. That's your website hosting. Any standard web hosting plan that includes an SSL certificate will do the job. You certainly don't need some super high-end server setup. Fourth, the front door, which is your form builder. Flexible form builders like Typeform or Landbot are great because they allow for engaging conversational experiences. Or you could even use custom HTML if you want more control. The goal is just easy, intuitive data collection. And fifth, you need a scoreboard. Google Analytics. Absolutely essential for tracking your users, understanding your conversion rates, and figuring out where your traffic is coming from.
So, when you add all that up, the bottom line on cost for most of these implementations, we're talking total monthly expenses likely under $50. That's just an astonishingly low investment when you think about the potential for generating thousands, maybe tens of thousands, in new business value. It sounds like this simple tech stack removes a huge barrier to entry, doesn't it? What's the biggest hurdle it eliminates for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Yeah, it completely eliminates the need for deep technical expertise or a huge initial capital investment.
Yeah,
The democratization of capability, that's monumental. Now, this strategy is incredibly powerful precisely because it's built on a foundation of trust. That's the bedrock. In a world that's often filled with high-pressure sales tactics, stuff that can feel, frankly, like being stuck out in the intense midday sun, this value-first approach,
yeah.
it's truly like offering someone a cool glass of water. It's refreshing, and people are genuinely grateful for it. But here's the critical part. Violating that trust is the absolute fastest way to kill your business and destroy your reputation. You have to protect it.
Absolutely. So we've kind of got a don't be evil rule book for this strategy, right?
Mhm.
Number one, be radically transparent. Users are savvier than ever before. We know that. So clearly explain that you're using AI and be precise about how their contact information will be used. A simple, clear disclaimer builds trust. And always provide an easy way to opt out. Number two, deliver real value, period. Your tool's primary purpose simply must be to genuinely help the user. It can't feel like some flimsy gimmick just to get an email. The report or diagnosis you provide has to be actionable, based on real data, and it has to leave the user feeling smarter and more empowered than before they interacted with it. And number three, market with permission and respect. Only contact users who have explicitly opted in. Then, personalize your follow-up based on the specific problems they told you about. Focus on continuing to help them solve their problem, not just pushing a sale. That's how you build that trusted advisor relationship over time.
Mhm. And that's really the core difference, isn't it? Why is sticking to these ethical guidelines maybe even more crucial for this particular strategy compared to traditional marketing tactics?
Because it operates on a much deeper level of trust from the outset, and it involves a direct, highly personalized engagement. You're not just broadcasting, you're building a one-on-one relationship, essentially, even if it's
Mhm.
automated.
Yeah, and look, this isn't just some fleeting trend we're talking about. It's a fundamental shift in how businesses can attract and convert customers. And it's all powered by this newly accessible AI technology. Think about the advantages. It's infinitely scalable. Once you build it, it can literally handle 10 leads or 10,000 leads a day with basically no additional labor costs. It captures true intent. You get this detailed dossier of specific needs, budget hints, pain points that's invaluable market intelligence. Most importantly, it builds trust first. And in a world just drowning in spam and noise, that trust is the ultimate competitive advantage. And it cleverly bypasses that pervasive form fatigue we all feel. People are genuinely willing to engage in a longer, more detailed process if they know they're going to get immediate, personalized value in return.
Companies that master this diagnosis before the doctor approach first. I really believe they're going to dominate their markets for the next decade. The only question really is, will you be one of them? The window of opportunity here is wide open right now, but it certainly won't stay that way forever. Considering all these advantages we've discussed, what, in your mind, is the single greatest competitive edge this strategy provides in today's incredibly crowded marketplace?
It cuts straight through all the noise. It does that by offering genuine, immediate, and deeply personalized value directly to the user. That's incredibly hard to compete with.
So the big idea here, the core takeaway from this deep dive today, is that this value-first AI lead generation strategy, it transforms cold prospects into pre-sold, high-intent customers by providing that personalized diagnosis before the doctor experience.
Right. And AI is the engine that makes this entire process infinitely scalable and remarkably affordable. It builds profound trust along the way and captures truly specific intent, making it, I think, an unstoppable force for market domination for those who adopt it effectively.
So for you, the listener, here's a final provocative thought to consider as you wrap up listening to this deep dive. What hidden diagnosis gap could you potentially identify and solve for your own audience, turning them into a pre-sold customer before they even realize it's happening? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today.
Yeah, thank you. We really encourage you to reflect on the immense power of this paradigm shift. It's changing things fast. Out to your own music.